Have you ever been to America? この質問に対して多くの日本人の方は I have ever been to America と答えるんですが、実はこの答え方はアメリカ人にとってかなりおかしいです。Hey, Yuzuki, have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have ever been to Hawaii.
どこがおかしい？アメリカ人だったら何と答える？皆さんこんにちは、アーサーです。あなたもネイティブの感覚を身につけて英語が自然に話せるように、今回の動画では1. I have ever been to America はなぜおかしいのか。2. Have you ever been to America への自然な答え方を学びましょう。よろしくお願いします。So why does I have ever been to America feel strange to native speakers? It's because it's actually not answering the question they're asking. 朝、なんて言ってんの？同じ文章でしょ？ Have you ever been to America? だから、I have ever been to America でしょ？Well, if you're following general English rules, then yes, that's correct. In traditional English education, you learn to answer questions in the same format of those questions. Like for example, many years ago, I shared a video on how to answer the question, how are you?
How are you? You would say, I am good. How are you doing? You would say, I'm doing good. How's it going? You would say, it's going good.
Wow, I was really young. もうおっさんになってるね。The question, have you ever been to America, is normally translated into Japanese as アメリカに行ったことがありますか? And in that case, if you want to say アメリカに行ったことがあります, it should be I have ever been to America, right? But actually, it doesn't mean that. By putting in the word ever, the message of the sentence changes in a big way. Remember, the purpose of English isn't to talk according to English rules. 英語の本来の目的は頭の中のイメージ、気持ち、情報、いわばメッセージを相手に伝えることです。And so yes, sure, when we study English and when we use English, it's nice to use some rules, but the most important thing is the message, and we should be focusing on the message, not thinking logically, but focus on the message of what we are sharing. And sometimes that means that if you follow the general rules, you end up sharing a message that's different from what you want to share. And so what is the message of ever and why does it change the sentence? Well, the message of ever is... What does ever even mean? To be honest, when I was preparing for this video, I actually didn't know what the word ever meant. It was really confusing for me because I had used it subconsciously, never really thinking about the meaning. And a lot of native speakers are like that. If you ask them, what does this word mean? They'll get a little bit confused. Austin, what does the word ever mean? Come on, man, spit it out. You're a native speaker, right? Don't you know?
Permanent.
Permanent? Are you sure?
Ever. Yeah. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with permanent.
Okay. The key to understanding the message of ever is to look at the word forever. Now, I know ever and forever are two different words now, but the word forever itself used to be two separate words, for and ever. They just got used together so often that they became combined into one word and there's no space anymore. You know, this actually has happened a lot in English and there are many words like this. For example, however, whereas, someone, something, heretofore. Yeah, I know, that one was complicated. Anyways, back to forever. For is a function word that designates a time period. 何かの期間を指定するための単語ですね。For example, I have lived in Japan for 10 years. The time period is 10 years, so it's for 10 years. Hey, Yuzuki, how long have you lived in Tokyo?
I have lived in Tokyo for 5 years.
Oh, cool. And how long have you lived in Japan?
For my 4, right?
あ、そうだね。確かに。So what does I've lived in Tokyo forever mean? 東京にずっと住んでいます。That's right. Ever has the message, the image of 生まれてからずっと. And so what does I have ever been to America mean? Well, modern English doesn't really use ever like this, but if I were to translate it into English, it would be something like, 私はアメリカに生まれてからずっと住んでいる Hey, Yuzuki, have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have ever been to Hawaii.
生まれてからってこと?
朝何言ってんの?
And that's why I have ever been to America is not an answer to the question, have you ever been to America? Have you ever been to America means あなたは生まれてから今までアメリカに行った経験がありますか? But それに対して saying I have ever been to America means 私はアメリカにずっといる. It's a little bit different, right? You're asking for a specific experience, a specific time period, but the person isn't sharing when they went. They've just said, I've been in America forever. So now we looked at why I have ever been to America feels strange. But now we have another problem. How do you answer the question of, have you ever been to America? Well, the answer is very simple. You just take out the ever. You can say, I have been to America. Or if you want to emphasize 生まれてから今までの経験, then you can say, I have been to America before. 朝質問、have をなぜ使わないといけないの? I've explained this in another video in the past, but saying I have done something, that have shows a change in a condition. You know, when you travel somewhere for the first time, you get a new experience. You get a new way of looking at the world. It changes you as a person. The person you were before your experience and after your experience is different. And so to share that feeling, that image, that message, we say, I have been. The person doesn't want to know if you've just been to America or not. They want to know if you've experienced it before. Now, if you go to America regularly, like every year, you can say, I went to America or I lived in America, something like that. But if you want to focus on, I have had the experience, then you would say, I have been to America. Hey, Yuzuki, have you ever been to Hawaii?
I have been to Hawaii.
Great. When did you go? When'd you go?
In the future.
ちなみに今回のレッスンの発音練習、話す感覚を身につけるためのドリルと実践課題は世界とつながるムーブメントで公開しました。会員の方はぜひご利用ください。Alright、まとめに入りましょう。1、ever は生まれてからずっとっていうメッセージなので、I have ever been to America は生まれてからずっとアメリカに住んでるっていうおかしい意味になります。2、Have you ever been to America に対して I have been to America と言いましょう。3、生まれてから今までの間というポイントを強調したい場合は I have been to America before でも言えます。Alright、ここでネイティブの英語を話す感覚について学んだんですが、まだ問題があります。多くの日本語を勉強している方はフレーズ、文法をたくさん学ぶのに、いきなり外国人と対面するってなると、頭が真っ白になって言葉が出てこない。僕自身も日本語を4年間勉強したのに実際に日本に行ってみたら全く喋れなくて本当に悔しかったです。でもその経験のおかげで実際に話せるようになる鍵に出会って僕と僕の数百人の生徒が実際に話せるようになりました。で、その鍵を今回の動画でシェアすると長くなりますので心から学びたい方のために無料ガイドにまとめてみました。もしあなたは今の英語学習で満足している場合は問題ないです。Please check out this video. でももしあなたは英語を学ぶだけではなく実際に話せるようになりたいのであれば Please get the 無料ガイド。You can get it by clicking up here or by clicking the link in the description box below. Anyways, thanks so much for joining and I can't wait to see you next time. これからも一緒に世界とつながりましょう。See you next time.
Asa, this is the best English lesson I have ever heard.
Oh, really?
No, 練習のために行っただけ。
You're so mean.